Strav, right glad am I to see you safely returned. My lads were all gabbing about hearing what sounded like all seven hells break loose near the grotto, and I feared I'd sent you to your death. If you were in the middle of that commotion, I hope it yielded something of interest. I'd hate to think you'd risk your life for naught. A blade pulled from the back of a creature you slew? I'd agree that such a knife would be part of any seafaring man's kit. I'm starting to think that these ruffians are pirates come to lure my farmhands back to a life of plunder. Chances are they didn't take kindly to your appearance on their doorstep and set a maddened gooboo on you. Aye, the pirates have been adding to their numbers of late. I'd best warn the lads and lasses in my employ to be on guard at all times. You met someone else at the grotto? A woman with a strange contraption? Ah, Shtola. She's been in Limsa for a good while now. Her studies of the ether often bring her out to Summerford, so her presence at the grotto is hardly unusual. She's an odd-looking lass, I'll grant you, but she's not the kind to associate with kidnappers. You may take my word for that. Where trust should be lacking in those yeomen of mine who have yet to wholly relinquish their pirate past, the temptation to return to the free and easy life of a buccaneer may prove too strong to resist. You have my thanks, Istrov. If it weren't for the efforts of stalwart adventurers like yourself, this farm would be in a far worse state than it is. Just you keep on lending your talents to those in need, eh? Help bring Limsa the brighter future she deserves. That sea-slaw Severin and his lot, never around when there's work to be done. I'd sooner hire you for the sake of getting things done, but then the rapscallions would never learn. Round them up and let them know that Staleworn would like a word, and don't take no for an answer. Work? Can't work when my hands are full of lifting this mug. You know I'd wager me last gill you'd never guess what I'm drinking. Swill wine. Well, you're right about the swill part. I reckon it might be worth a day of doing Staleworn's chores if it'll afford me a taste of proper grog. How am I supposed to work on an empty stomach? Go on, have a guess what I had for breakfast. Breaded sticks. Whoa, gods, how'd you know? It's my breath, ain't it? It probably smells as wooden as the food tasted, but I know why you're here. I'd just as soon get some real food in me, but I can't ignore a summons from the captain. Axes were made for splitting skulls, not stumps. You know what I did in my sailing days? Wonton slaughter. Bet your beard I did, lad. Aye, those were the days. I reckon now I'll have to be satisfied with taking my axe to the trees. So, Staleworn sent you. What do you reckon I say to that? I've saucier seeds to sow. Damn right. Didn't get where I am by taking guff from any glorified gardeners. But I suppose I could see what he wants to get him off my back. Aye, I'm Severin. You the old man's errand boy now? Tell my dear old captain not to wet his britches. I'll be along. Oh, and just so we're clear, I don't care for landlubbers. Go find the chocobo you rode in on and ride on out. You continue to impress, lad. All but Severin are accounted for. It's no fault of yours that you squirmed out. I've let that worm wriggle through my fingers more times than I can count. But rest assured, the next time I see him, I'll put him squarely in the dirt, where all such worms belong. Pains me to say, but all the gil in the world can't buy loyalty. There are some, like you, who can be trusted, but then there are others. Until now, I've had no choice but to rely on that charlatan Severin, even though I am full aware he's been doing shady deals behind my back. More than once I've heard of improper trading with the gobbies. I wouldn't be the least surprised if that were happening right now. Not a bell ago a sack of oranges vanished, as did Severin. I want you to find and confront the bastard for me, Istrov. Bloody hells, I'm up the strait without a paddle. What's this now? Stalehorn sent you for the oranges? Huh, so the old bugger had known all this time. Ugh, what does it matter anyway? Listen, you're one of those goody-goody adventurer types, right? Go rescue me mates from those double-dealing goblins. They're just over yonder by the bonfire. Severin sent you? Ha, the way he flew out of here, I was sure he'd sold us down the river. If you hadn't come, my dodo would have been cooked. Cooked dodo. I owe you one. Would have gotten away myself if not for Severin shoving me aside. You saved me, mates, and for that, I owe you. Suppose I should be ashamed I couldn't clean up my own mess. But a pirate knows no shame. I've no qualms about going back on my word. I'm only giving you this sack 'cause I like the cut of your jib. Take it to Ossian and send him my regards. What have we here? A delivery from Summerford Farms and a scheduled? There's a first. Well, look at that. Not a single one missing either. About the only things not here are those bagmen, and I don't miss them one bit. Here's Stalehorn's payment in full. With you, I can trust it'll reach him. Back in one piece. That's a relief. How'd you fare, Istrov? Ah, this is what I was aiming for. Looks to be all I was owed, all right. Though I'll be telling you false if I'd claimed I had not held out more hope for Severin. I was even willing to overlook the skimming off the top, to sell us all short in favor of those godforsaken goblins. You do well to mind yourself around that two-guild cheat. If he'd leave his own mates for dead, there's no telling what he'd do to you. Blast! At this rate, the crops will never be ready for harvest. If only we had black loam, just a bit could send our stocks soaring. I'll bet Roja knows where you might find some. Perhaps you might pay her a visit in the orchard. That gherkin's got a head of cabbage if he thinks I'm fetching him any black loam. But if you dare to pinch some from the cook pot, then be my guest. Just mind you don't get trampled upon by the aurochs that dwell there. Once you've 3 bushels worth, take the black loam to Preftwall at Tiller's Rest. He'll know what to do. Ah, even the weeds wither and die in this desolate dirt. But a bit of this black loam ought to change all that. I haven't seen any in ages. Gathering black loam's not for the weak of heart or the weak of stomach. Oh, don't tell me they neglected to mention where black loam comes from. Well, surely you figured it out on your own from the cloying stench. It comes from the Aurochs lair of all places. Well, why dwell on who misled whom about what? Confounded pirates, they know nothing of tillin', only killin', stealing our shovels to melt and forge into axes. They're biting the hand that feeds them, the mangy mongrels. I'd love to teach those curs a lesson in obedience myself if I hadn't sworn to Stalewern that I wouldn't fight no more. So I need you to bring back our farm tools and make sure those dogs reap what they've sown. Wonder what those sea dogs will try and steal when there's no harvest. Ah, good to see the tools back and in serviceable condition, which will be more than we can say of Severn when we get our hands on him. The wretch likely had a role in the theft. Spied him meeting the pirates in secret, I did. I couldn't care less if the wastrel won't work, but when he consorts with cut purses that take our tools away, he's crossed the line. Stalewern ought to know what sort of scallywag he's dealing with. Take word to him, would you? Pirates making off with our tools? Prefalt did well not to take matters into his own hands. Last thing I need is blood on my crops. But I'll be damned if Severn thinks he can take us for fools. His treachery won't go unpunished. I've come to expect a great deal from you, lad, and you've never once let me down. Yet, what I'd ask of you now goes beyond aught I've asked before. Would you hear my plea all the same? It eases my mind to have your ear. You're no doubt familiar with that scoundrel Severn by now. Well, the schemin' scapegrace is at it again. Since that letter came for him, he's been skulking about in a manner he does when he's up to no good. Now he's rounded up his rogues and buggered off with nary a word to anyone. I've grown accustomed to his insolence, but something tells me this is different. It ain't exactly damning, but when last I had words with him, he didn't look defiant so much as hunted. I can't help thinking he's gone looking for trouble and found more than he wanted. So I was hoping you might hunt his sorry hide down and drag it back here before it's too late. The ungrateful little cur bites me every chance he gets, but I can't quite bring myself to cut him loose. I suppose he reminds me a bit of my younger self. Suffice it to say, I'd rather he didn't come to a sticky end. As for how to find him, I'd try asking Grinwita at the Aetherite. She was the last one to see him. I dare say she'll be able to tell you where he was headed. Nothing that passes through those gates escapes my notice. I saw the Rouser and his rabble set out for Woad Whisper Canyon not long ago, singing about drinking themselves stupider. Cheeky sod said I should join them. I told them I'd rather shrivel up than sip whatever it was that had pickled their brains. If you find the idle swine, be sure and give them a cuff round the ear from me, will you? Of all the dirty, deceitful, downright dastardly deeds that slippery bastard's done. Claiming to take the lads out for a drink, only to lead us straight into a bloody trap. Don't get no lower than that. Course, I'd learned to stay a step ahead of old Severin, so I was ready, but the others weren't so lucky. You've got to help them. My axe may as well have been a white flag for all the good it did. Hope you fare better, or the sorry bastards in there are done for. Severin might have gotten us into this mess, but I ain't about to let him give his life for us. I'd sooner bow to a fishback than be in that conniving bastard's debt. To arms! A true knave. You betray even yourself, Severin. We were prepared to overlook the matter of your desertion on the condition that you provided us with suitable replacements. That was the agreement. Yet your latest change of heart leaves your debt to us unpaid. Few are they who betray the Serpent Reavers twice. You will not do so a third time. Cowering behind your protector will only delay the inevitable. Honorless wretch, your life is all you have left. And worthless though it be, we shall take it. O mournful voice of creation, send unto me a creature of the abyss, my thrall to command, that I may smite mine enemies. That the golem could be vanquished. That man is no ordinary adventurer. The snake slithered away. I am only glad he did not have the chance to sink his fangs more deeply into you. Those pirates do not belong to any of the known Laminsan factions. Whom do they serve? The beast tribes? Surely not. But the timing of their appearance coincides all too neatly with the recent surge in Sahagin and Kobold activity. Something is afoot. The question is, what? Could it be that the tribes are planning to summon their primals? 12 help us if it should prove so. Limsa would be hard-pressed to keep a single primal at bay, let alone two. But all is yet speculation. I must needs find evidence. The seas continue to rise, while the lesser moon continues to fall. and ilm by ilm the world becomes ever more unlike itself. It is as Louis foretold. The coming of chaos has rendered the laws of nature mutable, blurring the boundary between the material and ethereal planes. Little now stands between us and the primals. But they are not here yet. Though time be against us, hope shall ever be on our side. Never did the creed of Charlian ring more true. Never did I dream that I would possess the means to see ether, yet now that I do begin to take it for granted. How swiftly do the wonders of Charlian seem commonplace. Here, for you. Have you come for the festivities? Today the Maelstrom officially makes that great hole in the sea its training ground. Join in the celebrations. Wait, a disturbance in the etheric flow. But whence does it emanate? Sea Song Grotto, perhaps? What have we here? Can you walk? 'Tis I. Regrettably, no. He eluded me. Understood. I will inform the Commodore. You collapsed from your exertions. Are you suitably recovered? Severin here has apprised me of all that transpired. His account shed some light upon how you came to be attacked by a golem of all things. A golem is a mindless automaton, inert save when commanded to be otherwise. Common pirates could not hope to control such a thing, so arcane are its workings. But then these tattooed wretches are no common pirates. They are the minions of the Sahagin. As to their purpose, well, I shall get to the bottom of it. But first I must escort Severin back to his place of employment. I dare say Stalehorn will be wondering what has become of him. And you too, for that matter. I shall bear word to him at your preservation, but I am certain he would like to thank you in person. Pray, pay the man a visit. Ah, he told me of you, but perchance he did not tell you of me. My name is Y'shtola. I am a naturalist of sorts, surveying the ether in the hope that it might offer up a clue as to our predicament. I'd say I owed you my life, but that don't cover it. If it weren't for you, my friends would be dead and all. 'Tis a debt I can never repay. But I'll not make things worse by running away. Take me to Summerford Farms, and I'll face the consequences. For reasons I cannot fathom, you seem... Forgive me. Mayhap we shall have a chance to speak again when I have marshaled my thoughts. Until our paths next cross, farewell.